Alright, well, good Friday night, everybody. I hope everybody had a good work week, and I hope everybody has a good weekend that's coming up. Now, we're just taking a look at our live IMAX 12, and we still have a few isolated thunderstorms going on. We got this one that's in northern Madison County, a few that are out into Leake, and a few more just rolling into that northern Humphreys County. And it looks like we got a few just going into Issaquah as well. So, mainly just for our areas north of that I-20 corridor. Strong one definitely coming down in northern Madison County. You can see that right now as it just moved its way over 55 corridor, slowly moving its way to the east, and another stronger one along Highway 49 as well. Good amount of lightning strikes with both of those cells as they're dumping down some rain when it comes to this evening. But these shouldn't last too much longer, as that sun is now starting to set down, and they're going to lose that daytime heating, of course. Now, this is a live look over the metro area. You can kind of see the rain farther out in the distance. It's pretty out there with this shot, and temperatures in the metro quickly have fallen on down. You saw a little bit of lightning strike in the upper cloud. That was cool. Temperatures falling down into the lower 80s, about 81 degrees, but it is a very humid one out there. But hey, not a surprise. We had all that rain come down, a ton of moisture in our atmosphere, drove up those dew points to that 78-degree margin, but we are expecting them to fall down a little bit more as we go into those overnight hours. Now, temperatures as you're waking up on your Saturday morning, starting off in those mid-70s, so a little bit closer to our average, just a tad bit above it, but it is going to be still a humid one for this weekend. Now, we're going to track out the rain, and of course, we're starting off dry when it comes to your Saturday. By the time we get to around 2 p.m., that's where we could see just a few little isolated showers popping up here and there. A little bit better of a chance when it comes to our early evening hours as well. Overall, the coverage of rain isn't going to be as good as what we saw, especially for yesterday and today. It's a little bit low of a chance, just at 30%. And then by the time, let's say, we get to around 8 p.m. on your Saturday night, most of us starting to already dry off, and cloud coverage will start to slowly decrease in those overnight hours as well. So Sunday morning, nice start as you're heading out to church, or if you're just waking up early, heading on out anywhere. And then we get to the afternoon, and that's where we could see just a few stray showers, mainly popping up farther down to our southeast and our Pine Belt region. So, take a look at our weekend forecast. You can see it is going to unfortunately be a hot and humid one. For our Saturday, high temperature about 95 degrees, 30% chance of those isolated storms. Morning lows on your Sunday, mid-70s again, but then we quickly heat up to about 97 degrees for your high temperature on your Sunday, and just a low 20% chance of a spotty shower or two. Really, the only thing that's going to give us some relief from this heat is the rain, and unfortunately, we're just seeing those drier conditions for this weekend and as we start off next work week as well. Now, for your Saturday, we do unfortunately have heat advisories in effect starting from 10 a.m. until about 8 p.m. So, really no surprise with that, because we're going to have temperatures back into the mid-90s like what we saw today, and majority of us got into those triple-digit feels-like temperatures. So, it feels like 105 between to 110 degrees. Just make sure you are being careful out there. I know we're all used to it. We're in that summertime pattern, but it's always good to be safe, and especially for the weekend. I know a lot of people will probably be out boating, just doing outdoor activities in general. Just make sure you're drinking plenty of water. It's the best way to really beat the heat. Now, take a look at temperatures. We're going to be at 97 degrees again for your Monday, and then by the time we get to Tuesday and Wednesday, that's when we are forecasting a high of about 98 degrees as well. So, heat advisories, and just the heat in general, is what we're going to have to be watching out for this week, and especially by the time we go into the next work week to the midweek. It's just going to be a hot and humid one out there, so just make sure to keep that in mind. Now, we are going to switch things up and go to the tropics, because we, of course, have a hurricane out there, our first hurricane of the season, Hurricane Aaron. Still just a Category 1, but it has intensified a little bit. Earlier, let's say late afternoon, early evening, it had winds around 75 miles per hour. Now strength up to about 85 miles per hour. So it is gaining that strength, which is exactly what the National Hurricane Center expected. So as we go throughout this next few days into this weekend, look how quickly they expect it to intensify. By either late on our Sunday night or early Monday morning, they're expecting it to be a Category 4 hurricane, a major hurricane. And then we're going to keep on watching this as we go into next week. They're expecting it to curve, moving its way north, and slightly shifting its way to the northeast. So the good thing is, it doesn't look like as of now there's going to be any direct impacts when it comes to the East Coast. So that's always a great thing. But you can see it's not going to be too far off the East Coast. So one thing when it comes to our East Coast friends, they can expect some really strong riptides and some bigger waves that could be coming their way. So I don't know if anybody out there is traveling, or of course if you have family or friends out there, just make sure they know that. And for the areas like Bermuda, unfortunately, they're going to be pretty close to the system as well. Category 4 major hurricane, first one of the season, if we get to those limits by the time, let's say, we get to that late Sunday night, early Monday morning. And just take a look at our spaghetti plots. The majority of them are lined up. So fairly confident that this system's going to curve move its way north, and then start moving its way to the northeast. And it's all due to that Bermuda high. Of course, there's every once in a while an outlier here and there, but you got to look at the majority of these spaghetti plots, and luckily I think that's exactly what we're going to see. So I'm fairly certain that we're not going to see any direct impact when it comes to the system on our eastern coast. So hey, that's always a good thing. Now there is another system that they just got to, they just warned about, not warned, but they have a little disturbance, let's say, off that northeastern part of the east coast, closer to that New York coastline and everything like that, New Jersey, but it's a very low 10% chance, and obviously we don't have any impacts when it comes to the Magnolia State, so nothing too concerned with that system there. So recapping our 8-day forecast, when it comes to this weekend, hot and humid, rain chances dropping down, and it's going to be hot and humid by the time we get into your midweek as well. Temperatures by your Tuesday and Wednesday, forecasting highs in the upper 90s, so yeah, make sure you're being careful with these really just hot, humid afternoons. But by the time we get to the end of next week, going into this weekend, we are expecting rain chances to pick back up, and it does look like we have the possibility of getting a little bit of a cool down finally. So that's going to be something I'm definitely looking forward to, and hopefully that pans out. So I hope everybody has a good rest of their Friday night, and of course, have a good weekend as well.